This is the true story of the gentleman thief, a modern day cat burglar way back when. Might I introduce Mr. Peter Scott, the most well-dressed cat burglar in the history of Great Britain. In the UK, as in the United States, many people are not able to revive a career that has been interrupted for a while, but Peter did. But I guess some people just seem destined to have fascinating life stories. And this is certainly true of London's most notorious and celebrated cat burglar, Peter Scott, whose life has been like something out of a movie and has inspired some movies. Peter Scott was known as the king of cat burglars and spent his life raiding the home of the rich and famous, finding himself in all sorts of strange situations, and claimed he was sent by God to take back some of the wealth that the outrageously rich had taken from the rest of us. In effect, Peter seen himself as sort of a Robin Hood figure. Now, Scott was born into a middle-class family in Belfast, Ireland in 1931 as Peter Galston, and became a prolific burglar in a wealthy suburb by the age of 12. Scott then flew to London. While working as a pub bouncer in the West End of London as a young adult, he burglarized houses in the evenings when he got off of work. Scott claimed to have carried out more than 150 thefts and was arrested in 1952, but said the police only charged him with 12 burglaries because they were embarrassed he had managed to carry out so many under their radar. Peter ended up serving 6 months in jail and changed his surname to Scott before departing for London in 1957. On arrival, he forged a partnership with George Taters Chatham, then renowned as the most celebrated cat burglar in London, and said he realized the wealthy houses of Mayfair and Belgravia were perfectly designed to be burglarized. So, for a top cat burglar, they're planning your house, if you have great wealth, in advance. These are not the run-of-the-mill burglars. The duo engaged in heists that bagged them art and jewelry worth millions of pounds, from Bond Street jewelry stores to Mayfair art collectors. They were in for the top-notch things. Peter said of his many adventures that I felt as a missionary seeing his flock for the first time, he said, when reliving the burglary of Dropmore House in Buckinghamshire, where the press baron Viscount Kesley lived. And it was at that moment that he said, I decided these people were my life's work. Wow, isn't that amazing when somebody finally settles on a life's work and is burglarizing people's homes? Peter was said to have bought a new suit before each job so he would blend in. That's not the run-of-the-mill burglar. During one burglary, he claimed a titled lady appeared at the top of the stairs, and he told her, "Everything's all right, madam," as he shouted up, and she went back to bed thinking that he was a butler. This guy was a sharp dresser. He also said that on another burglary, if he was disturbed by anyone there, he would shout reassuringly, "It's only me," so they would think that he's part of the staff. According to Scott, he stole jewels, furs, and artworks worth more than 30 million pounds from an A-list of celebrities at the time, including Zsa Zsa Gabor, Lauren Bacall, the actress, Elizabeth Taylor, the actress, Vivian Leigh, Sophia Loren, Maria Callas, and the gambling club and zoo owner John Aspinall. He said, "Robbing that bastard Aspinall was one of my favorites." Sophia Loren got what she deserved too, and this was his comments. So he had something out for both of them. Now, Sophia Loren became Scott's target while in Britain filming The Millionaires in 1960. He stole a 200,000-pound necklace from the Italian actress, which was lauded as the biggest jewelry theft in British history. So it cost 200 pounds. Now, Scott is believed to have received 30,000 pounds for the necklace, but he probably lost every penny at the Palm Beach Casino in Cannes. So not only was he heavy into being a burglar, a cat burglar, but heavy into gambling. One Bond Street heist saw him steal 1.5 million pounds worth of jewelry and in 1985 he was jailed for 4 years for doing so. But it was enough to stop him. Scott served lengthy jail sentences and numerous prison terms. He was in prison for more than a decade of his life and claimed to be on the straight and narrow. That's what they always tell him before they started again. Upon release, he entered high society through the front door this time, becoming a tennis coach at a London club. But it was not long until he was up to his old tricks again when in 1997 he was involved into the heist of a Picasso painting Tête de Femme from the Lefebvre Gallery in Mayfair, in which a ponytailed gunman with a shotgun stole the painting before hijacking a taxi and escaping. So it was best not to come with your own vehicle. That way it's hard for them to chase you. Now he always justified his exploits by saying, the people I burglarized got rich by greed and doing negative things. They indulge in the mechanics of ostentation. They deserve me and I deserve them. If I rob Ivana Trump, he said, it is just a meeting of two minds, kinds of degeneracy on a dark rooftop. He said the fear of being caught excited him and spurred him on, as did the belief that those reading about his adventures were cheering him on and thought of him as a Robin Hood style figure. The 1965 film, He Who Rides a Tiger, starring Tom Bell and Judi Dench, was made about Scott's exploits. At the time of the film's release, Scott was in prison in Dartmoor and profited little from it. In 1995, Scott published a memoir called Gentleman Thief, and you can still get that book today on Amazon. In his last years, Scott worked as a tennis coach and tended the gardens of a church in Camden, North London. Scott was a participant in a 2004 Channel 4 program, The Heist, in which staged robberies were carried out. Scott was also the subject of award-winning short documentary, My Friend the Thief, made by Roland Hutchinson. At the end of Scott's life, he drove an old Mercedes-Benz, given to him as a present by the son of Billy Hill, the London gangster. Scott was declared bankrupt at the end of his life, owing more than £400,000 to creditors. He was living on state benefits of £60 per week in an Islington council flat at the time of his death. Scott was married 4 times and survived by a son.